Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Lair. My name is Caleb. I'm a youth pastor in Everett, Washington, and you guys are on the True Life weekly podcast we got called The Lair. We're in the Lair. This is the Lair, and we're about to jump in and have some great conversation. Some stories are going to be told. We're going to be talking about some stuff, but every single week, I'm going to be y'all's host here on this podcast, on this channel. But right now, we got some amazing people. Every week, we got great people, but this week, we got amazing people jumped in and joining us. We got Kennedy King, we got Laura Davis, and we got Kyle Snow jumped in and joining us for the podcast. Y'all, we got week 2. Week 1, it happened. We did it. We're back for another one. And so every single week on The Lair, we take time to get in this space to have some fun. That's one of our biggest goals. If we're having fun, we think you guys might enjoy it. So we're going to have some fun in community, sharing some stories, talking about some things. We hope you guys enjoy jumping on in and joining along with us. And if you guys missed last week's episode, check it out. It's on the channel. It doesn't go anywhere. It's there for you guys to watch. But today, we're going to sit back and we're going to start out, like we always do, telling some stories. Who had some fun this week? Who had some stuff happen? Who's had some memories come back up?
I went to a board game night at my friend's house, and their mom was like, I made dinner, and it was literally just some cabbage floating in some water. So we were like, yeah.
St. Patrick's Day, right?
She said it's cabbage soup, and I went, interesting. So the 7 of us were like, it's like 5 o'clock. So they live right by Fred Meyer. So we drove to the Fred Meyer's for some chicken tendies. Ooh. And while we were there, my friend was like, let's get some pizza rolls. And I was like, oh, dang, I've never had a pizza roll before.
What?
Like, yeah, I know. I work at a grocery store and I've never had a pizza roll.
Wait, not just grocery store. How have you lived your entire life without
My family was not a pizza roll family. We didn't have pizza rolls, bagel bites. We didn't have Hot Pockets until I was like 16.
Hot Pocket.
Oh my goodness.
The pizza Hot Pockets with the buttery garlic crust hit different. Anyway.
Those ham and cheese ones after school.
We went to, we came back from this Fred Meyer and we put it in the oven, and the whole time we're playing card games and stuff, munching on chicken tenders, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, dang, these pizza rolls are going to be so good. I ate the pizza roll. It was nasty. I was so disappointed.
They're not like the best thing in the world.
It was not edible, though. I put it in my mouth, ate half of it, and left the other half on the table to die.
The determining factor is, was it microwaved or was it in the oven?
It was in the oven.
Oh, see, then maybe, I don't know.
Maybe.
What does that mean?
Maybe your ton is broken.
You know, yeah,
the oven is the best.
Honestly, I think pizza rolls are too elite. So if you aren't introduced to them at a young enough age, your taste buds don't mature enough to
your
respect
mouth is
them.
not cultured for the pizza roll enjoyment.
To quote Toy Story,
in my defense, they were plain cheese pizza rolls. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh, no, you gotta have
you need
plain
pepperoni.
cheese.
Yeah. We went there to get the Takis ones, and they didn't have the Takis ones, which I was actually happy about.
Pepperoni and bacon.
Really quick, sorry. You mentioned chicken tenders, so I always remember this story. I think Jacob, who's watching us film this right now, he might remember this moment. Was last year, start of the quarantine, there was a night that Sierra was working late. I had to get some dinner. I went to Fred Meyer, and I was like, oh, the refrigerated chicken wings. I'm going to buy those, and I'm going to eat those, because those look good. I eat them. I had not thrown up in a long time.
Oh my God.
And that night, I eat Buffalo Fred Meyer, probably 3-day-old, refrigerated wings.
Yummy.
And within an hour and a half, I literally was sitting there and was like, I'm going to throw up. And if I don't throw up, I need to throw up because I feel so bad.
Wait, what?
And I ended up texting Jacob because I think we were going to play video games. And he's like, what's taking so long? And I'm like, I am puking my entire dinner out because my stomach is destroyed by these chicken wings. It was not the best. Fred Meyer, figure your stuff out.
Flash forward to like 2 weeks ago when that happened again.
Oh, yeah, a couple weeks ago, yes. Also, I ended up, I don't even know what it was. I ate too much, and then I just, like, am sitting there, me and Sierra watching TV, and I literally just look at her, and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. Walked in the bathroom, just started projectile vomiting into the toilet, and then walked back, sat down, was like, I feel a lot better. I was sick. My stomach was upset, and it happened. And
Stop. What did you eat?
I don't even remember that time. I blocked it out. It's just not there anymore.
I honestly kind of think it was Taco Bell.
It might have been.
Because I think it was a Wednesday after True Life.
It might have been.
Everyone
I don't even
knows
remember.
Wednesday
Again,
after True Life's Taco
bad
Bell
memories.
vibes.
Yet still love Taco Bell.
Not there anymore.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, really quick. We want to have fun, but we also want to talk about other stuff on this podcast. So, hey, if you guys got some food stories, let us know about them. Comment them down below. We want to know what you guys have had go down. But right now, we want to take some time to go in depth on something, to speak some more on something. And actually, to do that, we want to throw it back a little bit because we didn't have this podcast until, again, last week. And so we want to be able to talk about some stuff maybe that we've done previously in True Life that would have been cool to have talked more in depth about, to gone more in depth on, and to had this space to have some conversation on. And what we just finished up was we had a series called Mastering the Fundamentals. And we were talking about mastering the fundamentals of the faith, talking about things that give us a strong faith and that give us longevity in our faith. Because when you look at people in their faith, we see, not just in their faith, when you look at people in culture, you see that a lot of the times, whether it's their work, their job, their sport, whatever it may be, they end up mastering the fundamentals of it so that they are able to have longevity and be great at it. So we want to do the same thing in our faith. That was that whole series. It's all on our YouTube channel if you ever want to check out those messages, that series. But I wanted to ask you guys, what were some things that stood out to you as we were diving into this concept of mastering the fundamentals of our faith?
Well, the first thing that comes to my mind actually is Laura. If you guys weren't there for when we actually did it in service, we had worship, and then we would have someone come up and actually talk about like the premise of what we were going to talk about that night. And Miss Laura Davis went up there and was talking about Dolly Parton, and was it Adele?
It was Adele, and I have to shout out Julia because she was the one who came up with the idea to say Adele. I'm legally required to say that to people because she demanded
She, like,
that I tell.
copyrighted it?
She was like, you can do it, but you have to tell people that it was my idea. And I was like, okay,
awesome.
But I did Dolly Parton because
Awesome.
I'm literally
That's
obsessed with Dolly
classic
Parton.
little sibling for you.
Yes, for
That's just
sure.
classic
for
But
sure.
so what was it about then?
Oh, so basically what she was talking about is Dolly Parton has been doing her work for a lot of years.
God bless.
So many years. And she
64.
truly is a master of the fundamentals. She knows how to, project her voice. She didn't sing with her chest voice, which for singers out there or non-singers, singing in your chest is not great. Sorry, Matthias is looking right at me. Whatever.
Shout out Matthias.
Shout out me for singing in my chest voice. But anyways, Adele wasn't actually like classically trained. She didn't have enough experience to know that that can actually harm your vocal cords. And so basically Laura connected that with like, you can see that the master of the fundamentals, like to get the basis of singing, like helps you in the long run. So Adele had to actually stop her career early because she damaged her vocal cords so much. But Dolly Parton, who knew the fundamentals, knew how to train up her voice, actually can still sing for the 1,100,000 years that she's been singing. And so it's the same thing in our faith. Is if we start at a younger age and we get those fundamentals and those basics down, it helps us in the long run to be in our faith for a long time and just stick with God.
Totally.
So,
We need to have these basic things so that we're able to have a strong faith. Mm-hmm. And we're not just having kind of a splash in the pan moment where it's like, boom, I feel like I've been shot to cloud 9, but then you're like plummeting back down. You actually want that gradual buildup where you're just getting that foundation so you can stand firm. Because life's not always easy. Sometimes it gets difficult, and you need to be able to go back to the fundamentals so that you're able to have that strong faith. Mm-hmm. Kyle, did you have some stuff you wanted to share on that?
Yeah, I think just the whole series was great because we practically did all of those steps after. So whatever night we were talking about, like we had prayer, we had worship, we had Bible reading, we had a lot of different stuff. And after all of those, we tangibly did those together as a community. And so I felt like that was really good. The one that stood out to me the most actually was the prayer night. And the fact that we talked about prayer and then we had an extended time of praying at the end. And just even for me, like, I love getting to have a time set aside to pray to God with people. Like, I pray by myself, and it's good, but, like, getting to pray together with other people is just, it's a whole nother level. And that's biblical, too. The Bible talks about, where 2 or 3 are gathered, there I am with you. And so that, I feel that very strongly in those moments. And so that one was one that stood out to me the most, was just getting to pray together and getting to do all that. But it was just, if you missed it, go watch them and practice those. After you watch those, practice those, because it's just really beneficial, and that's why I love that series the most. I think.
Yeah.
Just practicing everything right after the service. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I think one of the nights that just stood out to me really clearly actually was also the prayer night, but also then was talking about the night where we talked about the Bible. And we were able to look at, and Pastor Lexi led us through a message talking about why the Bible is important, why this is a thing that we trust and we believe in, and why we look to the Word of God for what it is as our truth, the thing that's able to guide us and help us. And then we took some time in some breakouts to talk about either how to practically apply the Bible to our life or how we got the Bible. You know what? It was so cool to see some of these conversations birthed from this discussion where people were saying, like, man, I've never thought about the Bible in this way. I've never realized this is how we got it. And it was even such a reminder to me that, man, this is stuff we need to make sure we're talking about because it's so cool. It's so important. It's so foundational. But it can be so easy to be like, oh, man, this is like basic stuff. But really it's not. It's stuff that is like huge. It's the pillars of our faith. And that was one of the things I loved about this series. And one of the reasons why I'm glad, these aren't conversations we have once, but we'll have multiple times throughout the years. Yeah, that's how I'd say that. And so we loved it. It was a good time. And again, those are on our YouTube channel. Those are available to you guys to be able to watch anytime. Laura, did you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I don't know. I just loved the fundamentals night so much. It just being able to it sounds so corny, but really go back to our roots as Christians and stuff, especially as a long-time Christian and stuff. I've been going to this church since I was 8. I never really I have a very boring testimony, as I like to put it. I didn't do anything crazy. I've always been coming to church, but even I would consider myself someone who was I don't need to listen to this. I'm a life leader here. I'm an intern. I don't need to master the fundamentals. But some of it was just it was so personally challenging for me, who's been, in church for so long. And I really wish that there had been more sermons like that and series of talks like that when I was growing up and when I was oh, I'm not a new Christian. I don't need this. I wish there had been more people that were convicting me, going no, you still have, they say it takes 10,000 hours to be good at something. Have you really done 10,000 hours, no. Laura? And just someone to be able to convict me in that way, because so much of the series was just so convicting about how none of us are above reading our Bible every day. Yeah. None of us are above praying every day or worshiping or being in community. And so it was just such a cool reminder. And it was just so cool to see my students be able to really interact with that stuff. And I felt kind of a byproduct, I don't think we really intentionally did this, was just that we created a safe place for people to be yeah, I'm not so good at this. I really want to practice. And so it was really cool to hear my girls be able to be honest with each other about how, I don't really do this, but I would like to.
Yeah.
And just for them to be able to relate to each other and for them all to grow together. And that was absolutely wonderful, and I loved it.
Totally. And that's something that we always want to actually keep at True Life. And even here on this YouTube channel, we want to be able to keep an environment of people knowing, hey, we realize none of us are perfect at this stuff. None of us are amazing at this stuff. We're doing our best, and we're in this process called life, and we're trying to follow Jesus well in the midst of it, and it's okay to ask for help and to ask for direction and to say, hey, do you have any tips? How do I start doing this? I have this desire, but I don't know how to implement it. There's so many things like that, and that's why we're a community. That's why we're people doing this together, and that's actually one reason why we're excited about even this podcast. I don't mean to plug the podcast while we're on the podcast, but it's giving space for us to have honest conversation in not just a preaching from a stage moment or just in a group setting, but even just us as 4 people getting to have conversation. And then you guys are able to watch this and see our conversation and just hopefully be encouraged by it and be able to see, man, my community is thoughtful about this and cares about this and loves me through this and has more for me, and we're intentionally trying to create more space for you guys to be able to know that we love you guys, we care about you, and Jesus loves you, and Jesus cares about you. Yeah. That was really mastering the fundamentals. We're wanting to create that space, and we are glad that we have been able to take the time to do that. Now, really quick, speaking of the YouTube channel, that's where this video's at. And so we want to let you guys know really quick about some of the stuff we got here on the YouTube channel. Now, obviously, we got the Lair podcast on Thursdays. Every Thursday, it's dropping for you guys. You guys have it here. We got Wednesday nights. We're live streaming service. If you guys aren't able to make it in person, or you want to rewatch a message, or you want to see something, or maybe there was a moment where you're like, I want to clip that because that looked like an embarrassing moment,
chat.
and you want to save it so you can embarrass Jacob Davis one day.
Yeah.
Like, there's opportunity. We also have our Sunday Devos where you guys get to hear from our youth staff, from interns, from life leaders, from you guys, your peers even, on those Devos on Sunday mornings. And also, we got TL shorts. We got people drinking a lot of Capri Suns. We got ASMR preaching coming out at some point. We got some just jokes. We got some things. We're not taking ourselves too seriously. We're having some fun. And we also got something that we need to invite somebody else up here so you guys can see his face. We got the TL show on Tuesdays.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got Kyle right here, and we got Jacob. You guys, Kyle, really quick. Let us know. Jacob, get up here. Get up here.
He's here.
What's the TL show all about?
All right, the TL show is our avenue where we just get to have fun. We get to laugh. We get to joke together. For the past couple ones we've done, we have been watching some Instagram reels and just laughing at some funny videos, some memes. We have plans to do, maybe some pranks or some challenges later on. It's just a place where you get to watch me and Big Cat get to do some funny stuff. And, and also another shout out, let us know what you want to see in those videos. Mm-hmm. We don't want it to be just our ideas. DM your stuff on Instagram, whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know if Jacob wants to add to it.
Yeah, the one thing I'm really excited about is trying just random food, just maybe discussing food. I saw a YouTube video the other day for Mountain Dew wings. I showed Kyle that. Maybe that could be in the future. Maybe not. Maybe. I don't know, but it's just some epic cooking montages.
I'm just gonna put a bunch of gross foods in the comments.
Awesome. Well,
Make you eat them.
Jacob, thank you. Kyle, thank you. These guys are heading up the TL show. It is an awesome space. It's made by you. So make sure to be DMing
It's
the
so hard
True
to
Life
say.
Instagram page. Send us those funny videos when
Send
you guys
us
are
the
spending
best
hours
church-appropriate
scrolling.
memes.
When you're spending hours scrolling Instagram reels, be sending those to us so that we can react, we can laugh, we can shout you out, all that stuff.
Blow up
But
the
y'all,
DMs, y'all.
that's all we got for you guys today. And so, with that all being said, we got to have some fun. We got to go in depth on some stuff. We got to talk about what we got here on the channel. But all in all, we want to say thank you guys for joining us this week, for jumping on into the Lair. But we will see you guys next time in the Lair.
Bye.
See ya.